And welcome to another edition of the MangiaCast. Chin chin, my friend. Chris Bizignano. Nobody beats the biz.
Chin, I'm
Got the
sorry,
Manja.
no wine tonight, but Chin, I got
No
water
wine
instead.
tonight.
No,
What
sorry,
happened to
no
you?
wine tonight. The well went a little dry and I didn't replenish, Papa. So you're gonna have to carry me tonight with the wine. What are you drinking, Pop?
Just listen, the official wine of the MangiaCast
Ah,
right
there
now.
you go.
We
My
got the
favorite.
Dow out. I'm
One
going to
of my
teach
favorites.
everybody how to make a little veal piccata. I whipped that up for you tonight, Biz. I know you're a big veal
Thank you,
guy.
my friend. Yes, it looks
And then I
excellent.
sauteed a little spinach with sun-dried tomatoes, a little garlic, got some rustic bread, toasted it up. I like
Mm,
it in a little sandwich form, hollowed out
bad.
the inside.
Hey,
So it's
Papa,
going
that
to be
flour of bread looks good there, buddy. What's up with that flour of bread, man? Is it any good down here? What?
it's
Talk to me.
not what you're getting, put it that way. All right, you're
What's
taking
going
this.
on, my man? How you doing,
Whoa,
brother?
what's going on? Lots going on. But
Yeah, we'll get into it.
yeah, you're taking this first half here between the Dolphins and the Ravens. Hey, listen, I think Miami did a lot of good things, but you can't fumble in your own end. You can't miss a field. You can't jump offside when your coach wants to go for it. Then you can't miss a 35-yard field goal in this game.
Yeah, then you can't get stopped on fourth down in a low red, right? So they had 230 yards first half. They moved the ball, but like you just said, can't be turning the ball over in your own zone. Can't be missing fourth down opportunities. Can't be missing field goals and all that. So, hey, look, nothing surprising with Miami. They've been shooting themselves in the foot a lot this season. But Papa, they're coming off a real good win, a win that really surprised me last week in Atlanta. So let's see if they could get this together in the second half. They are moving the ball down 14-6. The gifted one, with the turnover deep in their territory, the Baltimore turned into a touchdown. So we'll see what they can do in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, look, they did an amazing job last week on Bijan Robinson. I didn't see that coming. Look, we know how great Derrick Henry is and what he's done over the course of his career. But, Biz, do you feel like he's not the same?
I mean, yeah, I do the last 3-4 games. He doesn't seem to be the same. Now, he started off the year looking like Derrick Henry, but he doesn't seem to be the Derrick Henry the last few weeks. The offensive line's intact, Pop. The offensive line's got their 5 starters, so I don't know what's going on there. I mean, the beginning of the year, Derrick started off really strong, so we'll see, man. But the last few weeks, has that look like Derrick Henry? Hey, Pop, I thought that was a telltale sign, man. When on the fourth down, I put something on X a little while ago. So I would have bet my house they would have gave the Derrick down that fourth down attempt. They threw the ball instead. So after he got stuffed in that second down, right? I think it was the second down. So
Yeah, I mean, he's got his shoulders turned a little bit. He wasn't straight uphill, but I've seen him stopped a lot on short yardage situations that he didn't. And then, I think Lamar is playing smart, right? I think Lamar Jackson he's not running around like crazy. Coming back from this hamstring, and they got this mini bye coming up. I picked them even when they went to 1-5. I said they're still going to win the division. We'll see if that holds out true, but this is like step 2 in their rehabilitation process.
Well, Papa, this is a team that's getting healthy now on the offensive side, right? I don't think people realize how big getting Patrick Ricard is back for them. So the offensive line is back. Obviously, Lamar is back. This team is a team that could rip off 7 out of 8. There's no question. So I'm not counting them out in the AFC North because I don't like the way the Steelers look. Okay, I know the Steelers 4-3. I thought Cincy blew an opportunity last week losing that game to the Jets. I had them down 4-4, Flacco and all that stuff. Now I look at them like, are you kidding me? Losing to the Jets last week, 500 yards of offense. They can't stop anybody. I'm not buying what the Steelers are selling, Papa. And I look at the Ravens as a team that could rip. Like, what did Lamar say the other day? Hey, every game's like a playoff game now. It's sudden death time for where we are. So I could see them, like I said, finish. Could I see them finishing 10-7, 11-6? Absolutely winning this division, man.
Sure. Hey, they get to play. They get to play Pittsburgh twice. Remember, they played, because they're in the same division, so they have common opponents. They played a lot of the common opponents already. Pittsburgh still has to play a bunch of those teams that Baltimore played in the first 5 weeks of the season. So we'll see. Listen, we had Kadri Ismail on our Sirius show this morning. And, I still think there's big question marks about this team defensively. And,
Absolutely.
They give up a lot of yards in the first half here. I know they've only given up 6 points, but they've given up a lot of yards in this first half. And on special teams, they've given up some yards.
Hey, Papa, let me ask you this, man. When was the last time that you could talk about the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers and say, man, their biggest issue is defense? Both these teams can't stop anybody. When was the last time you could say that?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
That Matabike injury was huge for Baltimore.
It was huge. Okay, huge. And I tell you, Papa, talk about the Steelers and, hey, they got T.J. Watt and they got the Highsmith. And, well, first off, the Steelers are not intimidating anybody. They're not really stopping anybody. And their best defensive player has been Nate Herbig. He's been better than Watt and Highsmith. And it was mystifying why he wasn't getting a lot more snaps the other night, So you look at the Steelers, and they got a ton of issues, man, a ton of issues. Their back end can't cover people. Come on. So their defense is really hurt. The Ravens, look, they started off slow last year. Zach Orr got that team together. They kind of moved Kyle, moving around Hamilton. But we'll see if they can pick it up defensively, because right now you look at them in the first half. Miami's moved the ball. Okay, and the Ravens haven't stopped anybody this year. So we'll see how this plays out in the second half of the season.
How about our guy Daniel Jones in Indianapolis going to Pittsburgh this week? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this game, because Pittsburgh has not been good against the run. They haven't been good overall defensively, and they've got good receivers in Indianapolis. And Indy's got a good enough defense where I think they can limit what Pittsburgh's going to want to do in this game.
Oh, absolutely, man. And they got a guy named Jonathan Taylor that's having an MVP type start first half of the season. You know what, Papa? You just think about the Colts right now. Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate. We both know a running back winning the MVP is going to be very difficult, right? But how about Daniel Jones? Hey, you got to put him in that MVP conversation too. Am I wrong?
Well, right now, yeah, through the first 8 weeks, he's definitely he might be the leader in that conversation, because the quarterback's always going to get the benefit of the doubt, right? Mm-hmm. Last MVP to win it, that was a running back, was Adrian Peterson, because at the end of the day, running backs come out of the game, they use other running backs, the quarterback is in there the entire time. The season's not made up of 8 games, it's made up of 17, but at least for the first 8, you got to be fired up if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan. So, we'll see how that whole thing plays out.
Let me ask you this there, Pop. Do the Colts extend Daniel Jones?
Who knows? What? You mean now? Like mid-season extend him?
No, I mean at the end of the season. He's only on a 1-year deal.
Correct. End of the season.
Are they going to look to extend Daniel?
Absolutely. Listen, I think it's kind of, what this reminds me of a little bit? Not exactly, but it reminds me of a similar situation to what happened in Minnesota last year. If Sam Darnold plays great in the last regular season game, and they have the number 1 overall seed, and the playoffs ran through Minnesota last year, and he plays lights out in the divisional round, gets the team to the NFC Championship, and let's just say he got him to the Super Bowl. You think they would have just said, bye-bye, so long, farewell? I'm quoting Salzburg. Or would Sam Darnold have been re-signed?
Darnold will be back. He would have been back, no question.
Right. So I think Daniel Jones is on a 17 game and a postseason audition.
It makes me wonder, like, does Chris Ballard, they look at it and go, okay, Daniel played really well this year, but, he did that with the Giants in 2022, and Joe Shane
But
gives him that.
he didn't do this in 2022.
No. You think it's in the back of their heads, like, of saying, okay, well, he kind of really played well for the Giants in the second half, and he won a playoff game and all that, and then it kind of went south after that.
No, he's a different player than he was then. He's a different guy. I mean, everything is different, right? So I don't think Indianapolis is thinking about 2020. I don't think Indianapolis is thinking about the 2022 season at all. I think they're thinking about, let's see what this guy does. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he could stay healthy. Let's see what he does the rest of the season and getting into the playoffs and everything else, and then we'll make our assessment there.
It's amazing when you build an offensive line, or if you have an offensive line in front of you, what you could do, huh?
Helps, right? Helps a lot. And a running back and 3 good receivers and a rookie tight end that looks like he's going to be off the charts and a team that plays really good defense. Like, there's a lot of factors in all this, but he's playing great anyway.
Oh, he's playing great. He is playing great. And I got to be honest with you, Pop, I know the Bears really like Loveland, their tight end, but, man, I'm still wondering why they drafted him in front of Taiwan and that draft, man, because I think most people had Warren as that number 1 tight end coming out, and the Bears kind of surprised a lot of people when they went with Loveland there. And Taiwan has been, man, he has been excellent for Daniel in that offense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think benefit of the doubt goes to the new head coach. They want, he wanted to, however they evaluated the tight ends based on what they want to do offensively. Time will tell if they made a mistake. Time will tell.
Papa, what do you think of Tua? What do you think of Tua as we get the second half ready to roll in? What do you think of Tua? Tell me your evaluation of Tua.
Well, here's what I think about Tua. I think it makes me laugh every time I see Giant fans that went absolutely crazy about basically the 2-year, $80 million deal that Daniel Jones got with the Giants. I know it was 4, but it really was only for 2.
It was really 2, yeah.
And, okay, it didn't work out. They were able to move on. How would you like to be Miami or Jacksonville with this 50+ something million hanging over you? There's no outs for either of those teams. They're stuck.
Bouncing back to Daniel Jones, you think he's looking at that Baker Mayfield, Sam Donald type contract, Pop?
3
years, 31, 32 per, or you think he's going to make more?
I think it depends on what happens. If Daniel Jones goes and wins an MVP and wins a Super Bowl, I think he's going to ask for a little bit more than the sort of we like you Sam Darnold contract that he got from Seattle.
True.
Well, and Baker plays out. And if Baker keeps this thing rolling the way he's got it going, next year's fully guaranteed. So it's a guaranteed contract for him, but I guarantee he ain't going to sign with Tampa another deal worth 30-something million a year.
No.
He's going to no. So, hey, I'm just watching this. Listen, I watched Tua. He doesn't really scan the field much. I mean, like at the end of the half, he drops back. He's looking one place, and the ball's going there for the most part. Wherever he looks, pretty much the ball is going. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see a one read, boom, ball out. I see that a lot with Tua, man. I see that a lot with him. One read, ball out. The Ravens got a 3rd and 6. They open in the second half, but we'll see if Lamar here you go. Lamar's going to take off here. Kind of really the first time Lamar kind of got out of there.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's protecting the leg tonight. He doesn't want to run as much, but that's the first time he kind of cut it loose a little bit. Hey, how about Baltimore with that 0 blitz before on that 4th down on Miami? But yeah, Pop, you see that a lot with Tua, man. A one read, get it out. One read, get it out.
And you can kind of get away with that when you had both Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Achane and Mostert, boom, boom, boom. But they don't have the same kind of guys right now.
No, not right now.
Got an injured
Jack Jones.
Down.
First down ball. So, Pop, do you agree with me? Are you with me on the Ravens, a team that could rip off 7 out of 8 and finish 11-6 and win this North?
Yeah, they might only need 10 to win the North.
Yeah.
They might only need 10. I mean, look, again, they play a very favorable schedule coming down the stretch. In the second half of the year, I got it right here. I got my NFL notes up, right? So they already played Buffalo. They already played Detroit. They already played Kansas City. They already played the Rams. They already played Houston. They got Chicago. They won. They
just
got
beat Chicago.
Miami.
Yeah.
They got Miami here. Then they play Minnesota, Cleveland, the Jets, the Bengals before that game against Pittsburgh. Then they play the Bengals again. They play the Patriots. Look, they got the Patriots, Packers, and Steelers to end the year. Pittsburgh's got a rougher road to go, including this week's game, against the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, Pittsburgh's got the Colts, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Bears, and then it's Buffalo, Baltimore, and I got Miami again. They still have Detroit to play. So they got the rougher road.
Another big get-back guy getting healthy, Isaiah Likely. Another weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's, all his weapons are back now as they're moving into Miami territory here. So your veal came out good there, Papa, huh? You got the veal down there in Florida today? You whipped it up? Showing me pictures of it earlier today?
Yeah, I'm going to teach our audience how to make the veal piccata. We'll do it during a timeout. We'll roll the video in. I sent Lindsay like some stills and some short videos. I didn't say anything, so I'll talk you through it. I'm not going to say that Biz, even you can make this because.
Well, you always got to insult me. I mean, every time you make something, you got to come out with your, "Hey, Biz, maybe you can even make this."
Well, have you made it? Have you made it anything that we've done, whether it's at Benito's or
me or the wife? Me personally, or
did your wife do it? Did she do some of the zucchini or something like that? She do the zucchini.
The zucchini. She's a big zucchini, so she did the zucchini. Me,
how'd it come out? Nice.
No, it came out good. Yeah, really good, really good. And she likes veal, Papa. So this is going to be another recipe of yours. She check it out because she's a veal person.
She'll make this. This is so easy to make
that I could do it.
I don't even want to say that anymore. Is this kind of pretty much the Ravens passing game? Tight ends and check down to the backs, right?
Another guy, Justin Phillips. So,
hey, what'd you think of that call against Miami on the big pass play to Waddle? The trip on the back?
He's likely again. Well, Bob, listen. I think we've seen the last few weeks that the refereeing in this league has a lot to be desired. I mean, we saw what happened with the Giants, but it's not just a Giant game. This is around the league week after week. I mean, it just seems to be getting worse. Okay? It's getting worse, Papa. We know that. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been talking about this on the Giant Insider podcast, man. I'm just waiting, Bob, to the Super Bowl is decided in the last minute or something on a very controversial call, either roughing the passer.
I know that, but you know what they do? They use eye in the sky.
Not roughing the passer. They don't.
They'll come up with something to offset that.
I'm waiting.
Remember the touchdown in the back of the end zone with the Patriots and who were they playing? Philadelphia. When the back caught the ball in the back of the end zone, and I don't think it was a catch.
I didn't think that was a catch either.
They ruled it a catch, and then Goddard, that whole thing got overruled right away. That was touchdown.
I'm waiting for a very controversial call to decide the Super Bowl. Look, we saw it in the championship game. What was it, 2017, with that blown call?
Oh, what a move!
That's Zay Flowers with the blown call. I'm waiting for a Super Bowl now. It's gonna happen, brother. Either it'll be that forward progress that we saw against the Giants, where you can't review, or it's a roughing the passer contribute that keeps a drive
What?
going, and a team wins
But
the Super Bowl. It's
here's the thing
coming,
I don't.
Papa.
Here's the thing I don't understand about the forward progress thing in the Giants game, which is why it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. There was no whistle. It's one thing if you ruled that their forward progress was stopped and somebody blew a whistle.
Right.
Nobody blew a whistle until the ball had been fumbled.
I know.
And Thibodeau grabbed it, and then Banks started running with it.
Mm-hmm. One of the worst calls. I mean, I don't.
They made that up on the fly.
And this nonsense right here, Pop, that we just saw. Derrick Henry pushing forward, pushing Mark Andrews, taking the snap. That has to end. We have to get the rugby crap out of football. And I'm not just looking at the Philly. They're doing what the rules allow.
Well, just Baltimore just did it.
No, they do like Philly does what the rules allow. Now you just saw with Andrews getting pushed from behind for first. Here's a wide open. Matter of fact, there's call off. That's 3 for Lamar tonight. But Papa, this isn't rugby. When did this rule change? You know, it's in the
somewhere
rule book.
Somewhere in like 05 or 06 they changed it.
Hasn't been that long? Has it been that long?
Yeah. I asked somebody about it. It's just because you took out pushing and pulling on block field goals.
I love that design. Chip with the line, do a drag across. I love that scheme right there down in a low red. Love it.
Talk about that for a second. I got to step away. Lindsay's going to put you full screen here. I just got to grab something because the veal is.
So, Jeff Hirschbaum, couldn't New York office change? No. You're talking about, Jeff, you're talking about the forward progress play with Jalen? No, they ruled it forward progress. They couldn't change it. I can't wait, Jeff. I can't wait till Super Bowl's decided on a controversial call. Because I think everybody's kind of sick and tired of the refereeing, right? How about I'm not even going to get into the DPIs. Not even going to get into it. Every week, the DPI, Pop, I'm just talking about the Jeff.
I heard everything. I had to go get something.
I'm not even going to get into the DPIs. Every week we see one crew calls it one way, another crew calls it another way.
But Biz,
what?
Couldn't New York have overturned it? In the sense that
overturn what? The Hurts play?
Yeah.
No, it's forward progress.
No whistle blew though. Forward progress, Biz. Forward progress. When they rule forward progress as stop, somebody blows a whistle.
Yeah.
And then ends the play.
There was no whistle.
So then there is the whole thing of, we determined forward progress was stopped. Well, then why did nobody blow the whistle? The official that claims to have said forward progress was stopped, why didn't you blow a whistle?
I know, Papa. I know. I mean, this is what I wish. Look, this is something that when Dable was asked after the game about.
He can't answer it.
Papa, listen, hold on. All I was going to say is that he could, when it's people, he was asked about, what did the refs say? What did they say? Was it a whistle? I mean, he couldn't. I wish Dable would have said, yeah, they said that it was forward progress, but we didn't hear a whistle. He just, Dave Bryan doesn't want to get a fine. He doesn't even want to get into the refs at all. But I wish somebody would have said what the refs told him. What did they tell you, Brian? What the hell did they tell you? They come because Dable was rightfully so, was going ballistic, and he's asking.
So was all of America.
But he's asking the refs, what's the call? I mean, I'm going to challenge it that way. I mean, what? And they're like, well, no, we blew the whistle. But you didn't. I mean.
Correct. That's the point. That's why I don't understand. That's why I don't understand why New York could have weighed in and said, no, there was no whistle. His forward progress wasn't stopped. Turnover. I mean, listen, if they can take Detroit's touchdown off the board against Kansas City.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
That's not a reviewable play.
I'm with you. Yeah.
They just told the officials what the rule was.
I mean, hey, listen, I hate to say it, Papa. But man, they better tighten this up because you know what people think now.
Of course, the NBA thing has opened up a Pandora's box of people saying, this thing's rigged. And there was about 8 other calls in the Giants game. Abdul Carter getting literally choked to death by Lane Johnson on a pass rush on a third down completion. You had the false start by Mailata. You had the defensive pass.
And you had a hold on Mailata too, by the way, and that Saquon run. But
right, and then you had
it is what it is.
And then, well, yeah, but that I don't listen. There's probably holds on every running play that gets sprung for the most part. I'm not bothered too much about that. The one around Carter, it's on third down. The pass interference on the
Pop. Did you see the play I put on X right before the tush push play? When Jalen's rolling left and Jordan's got him grabbed, brother. That should have been a flag. You should have even had the tush push play there. Listen, I get it. This every play, I get it. They miss hold, they don't hold,
just sacked.
And all that stuff. I get it. But here's the bottom line: the refereeing is not good in this league. It hasn't been. It's been a problem, and it seems to be getting worse. And it's not a good time to get worse after what's going on with the NBA. Do I think things are written? No, Pop, I'm not going there. But if you don't think people are looking at this now, when a refs don't see something or they don't blow the whistle and it's forward progress or DPI, that's not a DPI. If you don't think people are saying, oh, boy, I wonder how much that back judge has on this game. How much? You're out of your mind because that's what people are doing.
Sure. I mean, and, Jeff weighed in here, the offensive pass interference on Slayton. Like, we're watching this game tonight. We watch every game on Sunday. We see all kinds of things going on. That was the most bizarre, random, let's call OPI now. Like, what? Under what metric? And it's not like you were calling it all game. It's not why the Giants lost the game.
No.
They gave up 2 100-yard rushers.
Yeah, no, the Eagles deserve to win the game. That's not our point here.
But the game could have been different because, remember, 2 plays after the Hurts, what appeared to be a fumble, Saquon scores on the pass play. What if they don't rule that a fumble? I mean, what if they don't rule that a stoppage? Tay Banks might have gone 90 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah. And even if they rule it, it was dead, the whistle, whatever. Giants ball. Even if they don't rule it, Banks could return it for a touchdown because they blew the play dead, whatever it might be. It's still Giants ball, right? The drive is over. So, hey, exactly. Papa, we see this every Sunday where referees make game-changing calls. Where team either keeps the sticks moving.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. I've been saying this for years, man. It's getting
because they
worse.
changed listen, this is a whole conversation for a whole different channel probably. They have turned over the officials, and a lot of the veteran guys got tired of the politics, and they have gone in and changed the officiating crew, and they want the officiating crew to be a certain way, whether the people that they're pushing up are qualified at this point in time to do this, or do they need more seasoning, or are they being rushed to these spots for optics? And that's the bottom line. A lot of guys left. A lot of guys left.
A lot of good guys left.
And a lot of guys that were in the pipeline have just thrown their hands up and said, what else do I have to do? Been in the pipeline for 8-9 years, and I can't even get a sniff, and people are just coming right past me. So, you know what I really miss? I miss the old NFL Network days when Mike Pereira would go on Total Access and talk about some of the controversial plays. Mm-hmm. And then Dean Blandino did it. And then when Carl Harris got the job, he was not good at explaining stuff, and it was like a dead-end segment. And he even quit being the head of officials and just went back to being on the field as a line judge.
Right.
Like, he was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
And for the people who think, and I heard this on your shows a few times, Papa, the Sirius XM, your morning show on NFL radio, about, hey, they should make them full time. Well, they tried that. I don't think a lot of people remember they tried that. Well, a lot of reps were full time. It's not the answer. It's not the answer.
No, what are you going to do all off season?
It's not the answer.
You need you need reps.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can get better is to get reps.
Right.
And since NFL Europe went away, the World League of American Football, as it first started, it ended as NFL Europa in Frankfurt in 2008 or 2007, whatever, one of those 2 years. That was a big tool. That was a great training ground. Yeah, you got the Jake Delomes of the world out of there, but it was a great spring league that developed a lot of really good offensive linemen in the NFL, and it developed some good broadcasters that got a chance to get their feet wet doing games, and guys that have gone on to have tremendous careers. Mm-hmm. And it was a great training ground for officials because it gave them reps at a time of the year when there are no reps to be had in football.
And you know what, Bob, you know what kills me, going back to that Slayton call. Papa, if Darius Slayton was Justin Jefferson, there's no flag there, brother. I mean, what are we, the NBA now? I mean, are we the NBA now where a star receiver, there's going to be no flag there for a star receiver, but a number 2 or 3 receiver like Slay, there's a flag? Is that what we're doing now, Pop? Because you think Justin Jefferson, if Jamar Chase is hand fighting with Quinyon Mitchell, is there a flag on Jamar Chase there?
No.
Come on, Papa, be honest.
Of course not.
Come on. What are we, the NBA now where it's Michael Jordan going in the paint and get, and everything's a foul on Michael? You know what I mean? What are we doing now?
All right? Michael played tough.
Oh, Michael Jordan's my favorite athlete of all time. I'm just giving you an example. With the stars in the NBA, they get all the fouls and
Hey, listen, that happens in every sport. It's always happened. There's always a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. Where
this is the one sport there isn't, Papa.
Well,
the
Slayton thing is so over the top because it's like, all right, maybe he was interfered with and they didn't call DPI. And maybe Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, some of the top guys get the flag that maybe Slayton doesn't get. But they don't go the opposite. It's one thing to not get the flag. It's another thing to wind up having it thrown on you.
On you. That's what I'm saying.
I almost said to myself, in the name of Amani Toomer. Amani got called for more offensive pass interferences. And he used to say to me all the time, we'd be sitting at his locker in Giant Stadium, and he would say to me all the time, he goes, you show me what I did. Any different than what Michael Irvin did his whole career.
Michael was famous for extending the elbow. He was famous
the best at it.
He was the best at it. And that was what's amazing, Papa. If that was like Jamar Chase, there's probably a flag on the play, but it's on Quinyon Mitchell.
Of course.
Okay, this turned out to be a flag on a play, and then it's on Slayton.
Well, how many times? How many times have we seen wide receivers commit OPI, and the flag comes out, and the DB's like clapping, yeah, and all of a sudden it's on him.
Yeah,
and then you watch the replay, and it's like, and you're like, he didn't do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's.
And I tell you, Bob,
to quote the movie Boomerang. They treated Darius Slayton like his name was Stanley.
Right. Exactly. That's a good. I like that movie. Look at you with the Boomerang reference, huh?
Unbelievably underrated. Oh, Lamar going up top, wide open. Oh my God.
They got him between. Looks like the high-low coverage there. They got him.
Tell you what, that was a hell of a tackle.
That was a hell of a throw by. That was a hell of a throw by Lamar getting in that window, boy.
Hey, the next. After Baltimore scores here, we're going to show everybody how to make this veal piccata. And you know what I can't wait after the show is to dive into my crusty bread spinach. You could shave a little Reggiano on that too, but I like to go cheeseless on that.
I'm surprised you didn't throw a little cheese on that. I'm a little surprised by that, Bob.
I like it straight up. Or you could just have the spinach on the side like most people would do. But I have to, anytime there's spinach or broccoli adob, I have to make it a sandwich. Hey, another touchdown. What? It wasn't to a tight end this time.
Hold off. There's a flag.
Where is the flag?
I don't know. Might be in the secondary, and it is.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Well, this one's over. This one's over in Miami, and Baltimore is about to take a 20. This one's all but done.
One step closer.
Mike McDaniel's done this year, Pop. Mike McDaniel, this is last year.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
He ain't surviving. He's surviving this.
He's not surviving this.
No, and you know, Al Michaels is pretty close with Stephen Ross, and you heard him say, yeah, you know, they're evaluating everything. They're evaluating everything. They're talking to people. Look, they had a little window there where they could have been forceful in the division, and it didn't work out. And now they've lost people due to injury. Who knows if Tyreek Hill's ever going to play again? And look at this game. They should have had the lead the way they played in the first half. Baltimore was 1 for 8 on third downs in the first half. They outgained. They doubled them up in yardage and everything else. But somehow they were losing because you jump offside when you're going to go for it on fourth down. On third down, so now you can't go for it on 4th and 1. Then you miss a kick, and then this, that, and the other thing.
Papa, can you tell me what the hell happened in Atlanta last week with the Falcons? I mean, it wasn't like they lost a close game, a couple of turnovers. They lost a 23-20. They got whipped by this Miami team. What the hell happened last week in Atlanta? That was you in Atlanta, where they played well.
I can't believe the way. I mean, who cares if Cousins is in there or not? And he looked rusty and like a guy who hadn't played in a year. But how about not being able to run Bijan Robinson?
Oh God, man, that was really, really shocking last week.
All right, so you want to talk a little bit about the Giants and the 49ers?
Well, you want to talk about your veal? You just said after they score, you want to bring up your veal.
Yeah,
so it's up to you. Yeah,
I'm teasing little Giants Niners talk. And a little legacy talk because it's a legacy game. They're going to wear the 80s uniforms. I know everybody's.
And I want you to bring up the legacy stat we talked about this afternoon.
There's a lot of stats between these two franchises. All right, so Lindsay, let's show Biz so his wife can write this recipe down and the people that are watching. So here, I'm just sauteing right now some sun-dried tomatoes, some garlic, and a little crushed red pepper. All right, so we're rolling on that thing. It froze on us.
Kick it up there, Linz.
We'll
get back to that.
She's rebooting the computer. But I'm going to show you how to make the nice spinach. It's a great side, or if you're like me, you want to put it on the bread.
I'd rather have it on the bread.
Yeah. All right, we're having a little technical issue, so she'll get it squared away. You know, and then the veal piccata is really actually simple to make. I mean, it's very easy. Your wife will do it. I love the people wearing the bags over their head in Miami. Hey, you know, you think about Atlanta. Falling asleep, as Sal Fada said. Atlanta fell asleep. You know, that's the kind of game that costs you a playoff, a berth in the playoffs. That's the kind of game that maybe makes the division out of reach. And maybe if you're getting in some wild card thing or whatever against somebody, that's going to cost you.
I hate to pin everything. Well, I'm not pinning everything, but hey, I look at coaching with that too, Papa. That team wasn't prepared last week. Okay.
No, that's on Raheem Morris. You can't sit there and have your guys watch film and then just maybe take some shortcuts along the way because you're looking at a 1-win team that's just awful.
Can't take shortcuts in this league. I don't care who you're playing.
See this highlight package they're putting together right now?
Yeah.
My producer from years ago, Mark Titleman, who I worked Thursday Night Football, NFL Network, T-Man got his first chance there. And he's developed into a great producer. He's now the producer of Thursday Night Football on Amazon with Pierre Moussa as the director, former colleague at NBC. That package that they just put together from the first half, that's the kind of stuff that gets coaches fired. Hate to say it.
Yep. Yeah, I think Mike should.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're running through the spinach. So I take some sun-dried tomatoes, slice them up, a little bit of garlic, 3 cloves sliced, and some crushed red pepper. Then I just throw in a bag of fresh spinach, squeeze a little lemon in at the end. It's just a nice little deal. And Biz, Biz, you can definitely make this.
You say
one,
like, you
look,
say like
go.
in a way
look,
like I just
look,
landed from another planet.
Look at that. Well, all right, so now I got the veal. I pounded it. I got 4 veal cutlets, nice and thin. Lightly dredge them in just flour. I salt and peppered the veal beforehand. I got some olive oil, and I put a little butter in there. Get it nice and hot. And now we're going to just cook these things until they're golden brown.
You flanned it out, Pop, or the butcher?
Although I got the cutlets as is, but then I pounded them a little bit because I want them, you want it nice and thin, right?
Yeah, I like it thin, Pop. Has to be thin.
So now we're cooking it, and it's just flour. So there's the end result, right? So now I'm going to take them out of the pan, and we're going to get them out of the pan here. We got a little snafu, but we're going to get them out of the pan. Now I got that pan nice and hot. After a couple minutes, I just brown them on both sides. Now I take just maybe a quarter of a shallot, and I just put a quarter of a shallot in there. And now you got that butter, that olive oil. You got the flour and a little bit of what's from the veal. Then I just threw in some white wine. Now I'm just reducing it down to make the sauce. Then we're going to get a little bit of chicken stock. I just put a little chicken stock in there. And then
chicken stock. Wow.
Just a little bit of chicken stock. Chicken stock, the white wine, and now we're cooking it. We're letting that alcohol burn off, and now I'm taking a half a lemon, squeezing that in there, just building the flavors. And you see how all those scrapings at the bottom of the pan have now come off?
Yeah.
Now I throw in my capers, put the veal back in, and just cook it for a couple more minutes and just allow all those flavors to now seep into the veal. And then what I'm going to do right here, see that bottom of the pan is nice and clean because of that wine and chicken stock. And now I just kind of baste it a little bit, get the flavor in there. And then I'm going to throw in the last little thing to just give it that richness. I'm going to just throw in a little piece of unsalted butter right here. Here it comes. Just let that melt down. Get that thing rolling. And I'm going to now grab a little fresh parsley I chopped up. Throw that in there. And just let that cook for a couple minutes until the veal gets infused with the capers, the lemon, that butter, and that sauce that we got. And there you have it. There's your veal piccata. You could do it with chicken, too, if you don't have veal.
Yeah, I like both. You're right, Pop. I think even I could do that one. This is not hard at all.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes.
I know you like to insult me every week with that, but yeah, I think even I could do that one.
No, just tell your wife to make it. Because I know your wife can make it. I know you can't. All right, so let's talk
excellent, buddy. That looked excellent.
Yeah, it's still sitting here. I haven't had any of it yet because I was told by my father to stop eating in the middle of the show. So I'll heat it back up. So let's talk about this Giants-Niners, right? The Giants and Niners are playing on Sunday. It's the legacy game. Phil Simms bobblehead dolls will be given out. Phil's going to be there with his family. They'll wear the uniforms from the 80s and early 90s. And it's fitting because when Banks and I talked about it on Believe in Giants earlier today. The NFC dominated that era, right? You had the Niners win the Super Bowl in 81, 84. You had Washington winning the Super Bowl in 82. The Raiders won it against the Eagles in 80. Then the Niners won again in 84. The Bears won in 85. The Giants won in 86.
Yeah, the Raiders beat the Redskins in 83.
And then 87.
Strike here was the Redskins. Was the Redskins again?
Redskins again. Then the Niners won 88. 89 was 89. Giants won in 90. Then the Redskins won in 91. And then come along the Cowboys and their run and throw in the Niners. It was like all NFC.
Niners and 94. Yeah.
But on the podcast today, Banks, in talking about, like Dexter Lawrence and other Giants that are double teamed, he told a really good story about like how he would attack double teams because he was double teamed a lot. And he would pray, he would study film, and he'd say, okay, this is the guy I'm dealing with. Here's the guy that's going to double team me. One of those two guys will have a weakness. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack their weakness before they can get the double team on me. I'm going to beat them to the punch. So then I asked him, you played the Niners a lot in the 80s, and Belichick, with his defense and Parcells, had tremendous success. They lost in the divisional playoff round to San Francisco in 84. They had beaten the Rams in the wild card round and Eric Dickerson, and Banks was a rookie that year. But starting in 85, the 85 playoff game, through the season opener of 1991, Ray Handley's first game on that Monday night when they beat the Niners, in those 8 games, San Francisco scored a grand total of 114 points against that Giant defense. They averaged 14 points a game. And under that Belichick, Parcells, Belichick Giant defense in the playoffs, do you realize they played San Francisco? There goes Derrick Henry. I guess he hasn't lost a step. Do you realize they played San Francisco twice in 1986, regular season, postseason? In the 2 games combined, the Niners scored 20 points. And then in 1990, they played in the regular season. San Francisco won on a Monday night, 7-3. And then the Giants won the NFC Championship game at Candlestick 15-13. That the Niners only scored 20 points in 2 games against the Giants that year.
So we're talking about a high-powered offense.
Jerry Rice in the 3 playoff games in that time frame against the Giants, 12 catches, 147 yards, no touchdowns. Because Banks said that they said that what we're going to do, because he was talking about how Montana was making fun of him and making fun of them in 84 in that playoff game. Parcells said, if we're going to beat them, we got to make them play on our terms. And they zeroed in on Jerry Rice as the guy they had to attack. And Mark Collins was physical, but he was a great cover guy. And they hit Jerry Rice to disrupt their timing. And in those playoff games, Rice never killed him, messed up the timing, made Montana clutch, double clutch. Hence Jim Burt, good night. Leonard Marshall, good night. So it was a really cool conversation with Banksy today.
Yeah, I heard it pop this afternoon. I caught a lot of it, and if anybody didn't catch it, believe in Giants. Banks really gets into taking on double teams. It's fascinating football talk. Everybody, listen to Bob and Carl, especially when Carl starts breaking down what he did against the Niners back in the day and how he took on doubles. It's just great, pure football talk. So everybody's got to check that out. I thought it was great, Pop. I thought it was great listening to Carl. And like I told you this afternoon, you were talking on the side. You were talking about Jerry Rice and the Niners. And I was telling you a story where Mark Collins told me about how they changed their fly. And like when Parcells says, hey, we're going to have to beat them. They're going to have to play in our terms. And Mark Collins told me once about how Belichick told him how physical they want to be with Jerry Rice. They, as Belichick says, he wants Mark. He wanted him to punch him in the face, which of course, what we know, be physical with him off the line of scrimmage. Okay, and that's what they did, man. I mean, look, Jerry Rice came out and said, somebody asked Jerry Rice once years ago, Papa.
I asked him. He used to be my co-host. He used to be my co-host on Sirius XM NFL Radio for I think 1 year or maybe 2 years. We did the 10 to noon show together.
Okay.
And he always talked about it. He goes, Mark Collins was one of the toughest corners I had to go against.
Yeah.
And Mark was a ferocious film study guy. And Mark told me, he goes, I studied Jerry Rice like an obsession. He goes, and if his fingers twitched a certain way, I knew that there was a probability of what route he was going to run. Like, that's how much he was in it. Jeff Hirschbaum just sent us a great message. He said, the Giants didn't score an offensive a touchdown in both of the games in 90. Remember, they lost 7-3, and then they won 15-13 on 5 field goals. Yep. Now, they ran that halfback option that Maurice Carthon dropped that should have been an easy touchdown. But yeah, no, it's a great point.
It's a good point, Jeff. 5 field goals by Matt Barr in 90.
Well, just think about that. You beat Rice, Montana, Taylor, and the Roger Craig, and all of them. Just think that you beat them in one of the 2 games, and obviously the most important one, without scoring a touchdown against them. Which, by the way, the Niners defense is so underrated. Mm-hmm. You and I were talking about this today off. You know, I always equate the 80s Niners to Pat Riley's 80s Showtime Lakers. And everybody remembers magic, no-look passes, Michael Cooper coming down the right side for some monster dunk and all that other stuff.
Yep.
But people forget or don't want to acknowledge how good they were defensively, how tough they were. Mm-hmm. And the 49ers, everyone thinks Montana, Rice, Taylor, Craig. San Francisco was as physical a football team. They could have played in the NFC East. They were that physical. And they were that physical defensively. Mm-hmm. And they never really get the credit, nor do I think the Showtime Lakers ever got credit for how good they were defensively.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very physical team. We're at a commercial break here. This game's all about over, but yeah, very physical team, man. Like you said, it's a good comparison because there's 2 teams that when you talk about them, the old Laker teams and the 49 teams, all you think about is the offense and the high show, flying act of Rice and Taylor and Joe and Roger Craig, and then with the Lakers, it was Magic and Coop and Byron Worthy and Scott and all those guys. But they were grinders too, man. Those Giant games were battles, okay? And
yeah, you know, Randy Cross, who was a center on those Niners teams, he and I did the morning show, the early show together on Sirius for probably 5 years. We did it together in the early days of Sirius. And it used to really bother him that his Niners were perceived in a certain way. And he's like, yeah, sure. Tell the people that we played how physical we were as an offensive line, how physical we were as an offense, and how we could run it down people's throats. And Randy was 100% right.
100%.
But those guys on that team, they hate that it's just viewed as Montana, Rice, Taylor, earlier Dwight Clark. They always had good tight ends. Yeah. And they had Roger Craig, and it's like, dude, man, we were punching people in the mouth left and right. Just people didn't want to give us the credit that they gave other teams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Papa, what do you think about those Patriots, brother? Speaking of the AFC East in Miami, as they're about to go 2-7. What do you think about Mike Vrabel?
Just had another catch.
He's got like 5 times. How about Mike Vrabel?
I'm sure some Giant fans will weigh in and go, see, we shouldn't have cut him.
Why'd you cut him?
Listen, I like what's going on with New England. Just considering the fact that they just traded 2 guys away. Vrabel knows what he's doing, and you know, the greatest hire that they made might not just be Mike Vrabel. It's the fact that Mike Vrabel brought Josh McDaniels as an OC. Josh has not been a good head coach. He's gotten more than his share of chances. It has not worked for him. But one thing we do know, he's a great offensive coordinator. Mac Jones went to a Pro Bowl when he was his OC.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's showing it again this year with Drake May. That's a nice throw by Tua right there.
Yeah, little wheel route.
Little wheel for A-Chain. But you know what?
Which, by the way, Theo Johnson's got to catch that wheel route last week. 1st and goal at the 5. Can't drop it.
Got to catch that ball. I mean, Jackson put it right there, man. Hey, Drake May, number 1 in the league, Pop, 20-plus yard completion percentage. How about that, brother? How about the way he's playing? How about the way Josh McDaniels gets those tight ends involved? Hunter Henry. I mean, Josh is doing an incredible job with Drake May in that offense. He really is, man. And my boy, I'm telling you, I had a guy at the Giants building yesterday, Papa. He's like, hey, he works for the New York Post with Brandon London, a friend, Giants friend of yours. And the guy goes, hey,
Paulie
Chris.
Schwartz? Paulie Schwartz?
No. It's on the Blue Rush podcast. I did it with Brandon London and one of his cameramen. What exactly? I forget his name, but if you saw him, I'm sure. But the point being, he goes, we were talking about New England, and he goes, hey, Chris, I followed you at the beginning of the year. You told me Trevion Henderson, you said it on your podcast, how good he's going to be. He's a home run hitter. What's going on? I said, pump the brakes. 10 for 75 last week. Okay, Mike doesn't trust him in blitz third downs yet, but trust what I'm telling you. He's going to be involved, okay? He's going to be involved in his offense. And you see Josh last week, he's getting Trevion going a little bit. The kid's a home run hitter. I said, just give it time. I'm sorry he didn't work out for your fantasy team in the first 6-7 weeks, but I'm telling you, brother, give it time with this dude. And I'm telling you, Papa, that's going to be another weapon for them in New England. And I tell you what, you look at New England, you look at Mike Vrabel, 6-2, and a lot of people I think a lot of people are like, well, they're gonna. I can see them falling off the wagon a little bit. They'll finish 8-9. I don't see that. Look at their roster, everybody. Look at their roster. Their defense is pretty good, Papa, not bad. Okay, the offensive line is drastically improved from years past. They got a running game with these two guys, and they got receivers stepping up. Okay, and they got Drake May doing it with his legs and his arm. I don't think this team is going anywhere, brother. I mean, by anywhere, but it means that they're going to be around. Okay, they're going to be right there in the playoff hunt at the end of the season. Am I wrong, Papa? What say?
Well, I mean,
you?
Going into this week, and I got the league stats out here. They're 9th in total defense. They're 2nd against the run. They're 19th against the pass. They're dead last in red zone defense, but that's a little bit deceiving. And the reason why I say that's a little bit deceiving, they've given up 12 touchdowns in 17 trips to the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
But they've only allowed 17 trips to the red zone.
Right.
Which is, let's see, I'm just looking quickly here. Atlanta has only allowed 16 red zone trips. Houston and New England have allowed 17. And then you got Dallas that's allowed 32. Cincinnati's allowed 37.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's allowed 33 coming into tonight. Kansas City's only allowed 19. So they don't allow you in the red zone. So
and Papa, and I know you know all these rosters. You follow every team. So I'm going to hit you with something.
Hit me with something.
Tell me what his defense has drastically improved the last 3 weeks. Tell me why New England's defense has gotten much better the last 3 weeks. Come on, Papa.
No, you tell me.
I'm asking you.
I don't have the answer.
Christian Gonzalez is back and healthy. He takes away half the field, everybody. Christian wasn't there at the beginning of the year.
That's a good point.
Their defense, you think it's coincidence their defense has gone better? Are you kidding me? That kid is one of the best corners in the game already. As soon as Christian came back the last 3 weeks, that defense got better. They did things differently on defense.
Sure.
Okay, you could change your whole scheme now. You got a guy that could take away either another team's number one or take away half that field. Just watch them on film. I've been watching their 22 a little bit. Just since Christian's been back, forget about what he could do. So this is a team now. And Papa, this offensive line, right, the last 3-4, going back to Belichick and all that stuff, it's been a disaster. Not this year. Not this year. They drafted Will Campbell. He has been everything as advertised at left tackle. They got that rookie left guard. They brought in the veteran Bradbury at center. They brought in Morgan Moses, who will give you play as long as Morgan is healthy. And he plays with anything, that guy anyway. I remember when he played against the Giants in Washington. He was playing on one wheel, and that guy plays. But you know what? When healthy, and he's somewhat healthy this year, he's still going to give you quality snaps, Morgan Moses. So this is a much improved offensive line. They did a great job. I mean, Mike Vrabel. I don't know how you feel about him, Pop. I think the world of him. I think he's a hell of a coach. Okay, and they're not
Absolutely.
going anywhere, brother. They're not going anywhere. I think they're going to be right there in the playoff hunt at the end of the year. Now, I don't think they're going to win this division. I know they beat Buffalo already. They got the inside track right now. I still think Buffalo wins this division. But I'd like New England for that wild card, man. They're going to be a tough, no matter who they play every week, Pop, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, I think that Ed Oliver injury is big. I think that's a big injury for Buffalo. All right, listen, we got to wrap it up here. Lindsay's got to go to sleep because she's got to get up at probably like 5 a.m. to do some other podcast live.
It's 28, 6, 12
yeah,
left. So this one's over with in Miami.
Two is lucky that I think it was Roquan Smith dropped looked like a pretty easy interception.
Reach out to Coach Haley, Papa. We need him on the next MangiaCast.
Oh yeah. My timing was a little. We had route running practice tonight for a travel flag team, and then we had travel baseball practice. So it was touch and go. I have a question for you. Giants winning on Sunday or not?
Giants are winning Sunday. I made that prediction this afternoon on the Giant Insider podcast. Giants are winning Sunday. I have a good feeling about the Giants Sunday. I think the 49 injuries are catching up to them. I watched their 22 last week from Houston. You know, I don't care who you are, okay, in this league. When you lose impact players, it's going to catch up to you. And the 49ers have lost impact players. They lost a future Hall of Famer and Fred Warner for the year. They probably lost another future Hall of Famer and Bosa. And when you lose guys like that, it starts to catch up to you. I think the Giants play a good game Sunday. I think they're going to be +2 in turnover. I think they get out of there with a win. I do. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones, if he plays, I mean, he takes a lot of hits. I mean, I like their chances. You and I have talked about this for a couple of weeks, talking about the Niners, and there's a lot that we like about them, but it can't be a get-right game. The Niners are they're 30th in the NFL in running the ball. Their longest run this year, is 19 yards. Brian Robinson. This can't be a game where a team that's averaging 89 yards a game on the ground goes for $160, and McCaffrey goes for 97 yards on 10 carries.
Mm-hmm.
Like that can't happen. And I think after last week's embarrassment, as far as their inability to stop the run, the fact that on a 2nd and 26 they gave up 29 yards or 28 yards, I think there'll be a little reckoning for some of these guys as far as listen, they took it as an affront. And look, I think, will they catch the ball when they need to catch the ball? Let's hope so. It's always a 50-50 proposition. That's why I laugh. The next gen stats in our notes talk about how Jackson Dart has like the worst passer rating, completion percentage on balls that travel over 20 yards in the air.
20+ yards, yeah.
Okay, well, how do his numbers look if Theo Johnson doesn't drop the ball last week? How do his numbers look if Darius Slayton doesn't drop a deep ball in New Orleans? How does it look if Darius Slayton makes a play on the ball on the flea flicker in New Orleans? How does it look if Darius Slayton doesn't get called for this impossible looking offensive pass interference on a 67-yard touchdown? Like, so sometimes you got to look at these numbers and put them in perspective with the amount of drops that the Giants have as a group, that those numbers are going to look crappy. Anyway, thank our good friends at Dow. Thank our good friends at Made in Cookware USA for those great pans and pots. And if you want to buy the glass, you can get yourself a Chin Chin glass. You go to the Believe shop. Thank FanDuel. Oh, quickly, favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candle? It's still chocolate, man. It's still chocolate.
Chocolate?
Yeah.
Dude, there's 8 billion kinds of chocolate. Is it
I
a
know.
straight
It's
up
still
Hershey
chocolate.
bar? It's a
It's still
Hershey bar with
chocolate kisses.
almonds.
No, chocolate kisses, man.
My whole deal is.
Will you go with Max every summer? Hershey? It's still my
Oh yeah,
favorite, brother.
I'll be.
Still my favorite.
I
Be
I did it
careful
with
with
my.
be careful with those hitting coaches all the time, Papa. I'm looking out for you. You know, I'm a baseball guy. Watch
Yeah,
out with those hitting coaches. All right.
no, we got it. We got a good one in Colton, the D-bats. I always raid the bag. Did
What's
it
your
with my
favorite?
grown kids. I look for because the kids never like it. You give me that Baby Ruth bar and throw them in the freezer. Might break your teeth when you try to eat it.
That's like when we were young. Like when we were kids, we used to freeze the Musketeer bars.
Oh yeah, I'm the Baby
You get a lot
Ruth
of kids
bar.
down by you? You get a lot of kids trick or treating by you?
There's
Because
only
I don't get many over here.
There's only kids down here. It's like the Disney World for kids here.
Oh, is it? You have a lot of young kids by you? Okay.
Oh my God, everybody.
Are they
all young
trick or
families.
treating though? Because a lot of people
Yeah,
don't seem to
everybody
trick or
trick or
treat
treats.
anymore.
Everybody trick or treats.
Oh, you got that Florida sunshine. Everybody's happy.
Sal will be watching from Florida. Love Sal. He's going to synchronize the radio and television. Listen to me and Carl. Make sure you
Sal,
do it.
How did you like Papa's call on Dane Belton with that hit a couple of weeks ago? They showed it on the Giants.com. I talked to Dane. Hey, by the way, Papa, before we go, I talked to Dane about that. I said, Dane, did you happen to hear Bob Papa's call? And he goes, oh, not really. You know, not really. I go, do you ever hear of a guy named Gary Reasons? You know, and he goes, I heard of him. You know, I said, well, there was a famous play in Denver on that side of the field. I said, that's why Papa got a little extra excited over it. Reasons blew a guy up, a guy named Sammy Winder, and he's looking at me like, oh, yeah. He's looking, you can tell. He's like, he doesn't really know what the hell. And I said,
you know what you should do? The next time you have casual locker room, on your phone, dial up the Reasons hit and show it to him.
Yeah.
And then, his hit, hit was unbelievable.
Yeah, it wasn't. Right, look, I'm not comparing Gary Reasons, but it was like that side of the field. Big hit. I could tell you got that extra pump in your pop because you were getting flashbacks of Reasons. I could tell, man.
In the snow. The only problem is, dude, it was a different stadium.
I know.
That was the old Mile High. I know, but it was that way.
It was that way.
You know what? Either you'll do it or I'll do it when I see Dane Belton, and I'm gonna get the Reasons play and just show it to him and say that's what your hit was like. That's how good it was.
Yeah, Jeff, it was in a snowstorm. That made it even more special, with that snow coming down.
Dude, you see all the people leaving in Miami?
Yeah, they're bailing. They're out. They're done.
They're done. It's not the best stadium either. Poor Mike McDaniel. All right, Chin Chin.
Yep. Talk soon, my friend. I don't have
Biz
I don't have it.
Biz wants chocolate. I want the Baby Ruth, which I fell in love with as a kid because I thought it was about Babe Ruth, but it really wasn't. The candy wasn't named after Babe Ruth. It's named after the president's daughter.
Yeah, it's not the Reggie bar here. By the way, Derek Honey's ripping off chunk runs since you actually feel he's the same.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think Miami's letting go of the rope.
Yeah, Miami's thinking about
Lindsay's
the meal.
Lindsay's
yeah,
like,
Lindsay,
thank you. No, she's like, you guys are really, truly Italians. Because Italians can't, when you go to a family gathering and it usually takes like 40 minutes to say goodbye, and you say goodbye to the same people like 3 different times.
At least.
And then when your kids were little, did you say, hey, did you say goodbye to Aunt, Uncle so-and-so and Aunt so-and-so? Did you make sure you say goodbye to them?
By the way, Pop, I'm digging the haircut, brother. When did you get the haircut?
No haircut.
What do you mean no haircut? Your hair's short.
No, it's the same hair I've had. I haven't had a haircut in 3 weeks.
Well, holy shit! You must have really cut it short than 3 weeks ago.
Nah, just little
Spiffed
product
up there, Papa. You got the little
product.
You got the little product going up to the side a little bit, going there.
Nah, little product, and I had a hat on because it's cold down here.
Well, it's cold down there. Well, tell me what's cold down there. This ought to be good, everybody. What's cold down there?
It actually dipped into the upper 50s tonight.
Oh boy, that's freaking.
But we're right by the water, man. It's cold.
Yeah, what was it doing today, Papa?
It was like 70.
Yeah, my son's in Tampa right now, and he's telling me it's 75.
Yeah, it's a little south of us.
Yeah, I know it's a little south, but
Lindsay just chimed in. She's waiting for us to sign off, but she's like, "Yeah, you're going with the Sarkeesian style? No.
I
Might
don't
be
Papa.
more. Might be a little bit more Mike Norville at Florida State. I don't know. Anyway, chin chin, my
Enjoy,
friend.
my friend. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, we're getting Todd Haley on this show, folks, because he likes to eat, and he's another one of these honorary Italians. So thanks for joining us. Thanks to FanDuel for this edition of the MangiaCast.